Inravio.com.
Hello again, everybody. This is Joe Larson and Chuck Schultz. Welcome to the 505 on Racing Show.
Hello.
What a day yesterday.
What a day. Busy day, but you know what? We got it in with the weather, huh?
You know, it's funny when we started out outside, coordinate what we're going to do, and it was springtime. I go inside for 3 hours.
Oh, yeah.
We do what we have to do.
It was nippy.
And I came out. It was wintertime.
Well, when our outside coordinator got there for the traffic, he texted me. I went outside to meet with him and give him, the overhead view and rundown and the whole deal. I gave him the paperwork.
Yep.
And I'm seeing flakes of snow, and I'm like, no way, it can't be. But I saw flakes of snow, and I was like, no, hold off. Can't be yet.
Hold on.
But it worked out. We didn't get any snow, but it was a little nippy. But you know what? It was a great event. It was a great event.
It was. And for those who are not privy to what we did, we actually went to the Himes Museum of Auto Racing Nostalgia in Bayshore and sat down and talked with Marty Himes in a nice setting in his living room.
In his chair, his comfy
in his
chair.
Comfy,
Marty, can we move that box so we can put the... No.
No. Marty, can we put... No. Let me put the chair where it works, and it did work.
It worked all right, yeah.
It worked all right, but...
But if somebody had a heart attack and went down, they would have still been standing up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
They might have been leaning on a camera, but that might have been it.
Yeah. It was very, very interesting. And, when we first got there, we're in his kitchen, and he talked more in the kitchen
I know that he did in his chair.
In his chair.
And I was like, we should do something, put a camera out or something. We should have came walking in with a camera, but there's more room in this bathroom than there is in the rest of the house.
There was.
Did you notice that?
Yes.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
I really didn't.
Yeah, there was more. Because if you've never been there, it's everything.
He takes a cabinet, he puts it on the wall, he fills it up with memorabilia, he puts memorabilia on top, he puts memorabilia in front, and then he stacks more stuff on top, and then he puts another cabinet in front of that, and he fills that up with more memorabilia and more memorabilia on top. I mean, It was
unbelievable.
When they say standing room only,
we had
there's no place for the camera crew to sit
down.
down. We literally stood for 3 hours straight.
Yeah.
There was no sitting down.
No. At least you got to lean against something a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving. I was in, I was out. But it was a great event. We had a lot of people that came down.
It was.
And Rob, the coffee guy, he came down,
It worked out very well. And it was really nice.
Yeah, with,
is that his family was all there as well. His son, his daughters, his grandsons.
Yeah.
And that was nice. And they had no idea what we were going to do. They had no idea. They just know we were coming, doing an interview.
They didn't know about anything else.
They knew people were going to be outside to shake his hand.
But that's it. They didn't know about.
They didn't know about the plaque.
They didn't know about us giving them a plaque.
No.
Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yeah, it was
an uppie.
It was
an Ultimate Media Award.
Yeah, we're coming uppie. And it was funny is that he in the interview, and we're going to have that not today, obviously, but in the interview, you saw different phases of Marty. You saw this is great, I'm lucky, blah blah. Then you saw. Then you saw the upset Marty. Then you saw the emotional Marty. And then he talked about things that he did.
Back in the day.
Back in the day. And the things that he does today that nobody knew that he does or did.
The friends.
Yeah.
Being there for other people. So we were there for him.
Yeah, we were. And it
brought a tear to his eye. He got a little teary-eyed there.
Yeah, a couple of times.
Yeah.
The ones where he had to lift his glasses and wipe his eyes, those are serious ones.
I tried to give him a hug on the way out. He pushed me away. He give me a push, but he just shook my hand.
He's old school. But we're going to piece that together. Yeah, we're going to piece that together and make it an episode. And we'll have a good time with us.
Yeah, we'll play those interviews. We'll cut out some pieces here and there. And we'll play them over the next, here and there. But we do have a Marty interview tonight.
Yes, we do, and we can play it right now.
We can do that. Why not? We're talking about it.
Yeah, we're talking
Depends
about
if they're ready for us to go. But, you know, it was a fun day, though.
It was. I had a good time.
And it really did work smooth.
Yeah.
It really did go smooth. I was very surprised. The weather really. I mean, it's like we had an opening, the whole thing, and boom, we got it in. And then we got home, and it started to go, you know, snow and rain and all the rest of it.
As I got back to the place, it was snowing. Mm-hmm. So, and I think if the weather would have been a little bit nicer in the afternoon, we had more of a turnout.
A better crowd, yeah.
The turnout was still good.
It was still good, yeah.
You know, there was no giveaways, there was no free stuff, and
nope.
And they showed up, and hopefully it created the awareness that we were hoping to do. So
yeah.
We might have to send people.
And we had the food truck. He came loaded with beer.
Yeah.
Rob.
He was ready.
Came with 10 pizzas and 100 hot dogs, and
pizza was good.
Yeah, pizza was good.
I love pizza.
And the hot dogs, how can you go wrong with a hot dog?
Yeah. He didn't have beans, so.
No beans, what's wrong with that?
I couldn't resist.
No beans.
Well,
we got that Marty video.
So we got that Marty video. We'll take a look at that. And this was taken this past summer.
Yeah.
You know, take a look.
Inravio.com.
I'm sitting here with Marty Himes, curator of the Himes Museum of Auto Racing Nostalgia. Marty, first of all, happy birthday, 79 if I'm not mistaken.
79, thank you.
79 years young.
Folks.
Marty, out the museum, you started this with one item, what, 45 years ago?
44.
44.
You're pretty good.
All right.
44 years ago, I hung a letter on the wall from famous race car driver that only had one leg, Bill Schindler from Freeport, and it's still there.
And it just grew from there.
Look what happened.
Now, Marty, you have 3 lots worth of stuff.
3 lots, 1, 2, 3 trailers like this, and 2 garages, and the house. And when I say the house is full, I'm not kidding. If you fell in the house, you couldn't fall down. There's too much stuff.
It's never too much stuff, Marty.
Yeah, I don't know how I did it all, but I've done it.
Well, you know, in some cases, one man's junk was your gold.
That's right. One man's junk, another man's gold, and I happen to be the man looking for the junk. That's Junque.
Junk. Now, Marty, I'm hearing rumors. This is the last one, the last reunion?
Last reunion, because it's too much work. It's a lot of work setting this all up to do this all for one day. It really is.
A lot of people come from all parts of the country.
There's even an author here. He wrote the Long Ride on a Short Track book. Ken Spooner from Nashville. He fooled me. I talked to him on the phone a couple of days ago, and he didn't tell me. But I opened the door before, and there he was. He's here from Nashville.
Wow. See, that's a tribute. That's a tribute.
Yeah.
Now, Marty, you have sprint cars, you have midget cars, you have stock cars, modifieds. How does this stuff come to you?
Believe it or not, most of this stuff has been donated to me. And I have a policy that I don't care who you are, you couldn't buy any of it, okay? It's just, if it's donated to me, it's not for sale, for no kind of money. Everybody says, yeah. So everything has a price. Says, you're talking to the wrong guy. It has no price. It's not for sale.
And that's big, because a lot of people, when times are tough, they go, maybe I could get rid of this, get rid of that. You don't get rid of anything.
I don't sell nothing, and I've had many offers. The American Pickers show on television, they've called me twice already, but they want to buy, and I don't want to sell, and I'm not.
And I'll tell you what, as a former racer and a guy that does a show on racing, I appreciate that, and that's big, because once it disappears, you never know where it goes. Exactly.
And I've seen it happen to other guys who collect, and they're all going to collect and hang on to stuff. Before you know it, they get an offer and they sell, and it's gone. They don't even know who they sold it to. It's gone forever.
Now, out of all the stuff you have, and you have a lot of interesting stuff, what is your prized possession?
Boy, that's a hard one. I mean, I have stuff here from the best in the business, Jim Hendrickson, a great man, great human being, great race car driver, and a great friend. And he's here. His helmets are here, his uniforms are here, his jackets are here, his shirts are here, and his photographs all signed. Can't beat that.
No. And I tell people, all they need to do is say a driver's name that was from Long Island. You'll go like this, you go, and stay there, and you'll come back with something from that guy.
Yeah, I have a good collection of stuff. And we're talking about shoes, hats, gloves,
Fire
uniforms,
suits.
anything you can think of is here. There's trophies, you know, it's all here.
Yeah.
They love this.
Yeah, Marty, you got a couple of hundred people out there walking around, I'm sure, looking at. I want to thank you, not only for what you did today, but preserving the history of auto racing, for making guys like me even feel important, you know, with a small country. Thank you, and I appreciate that. And I just hope that you live a long and prosperous life forward. But when that day comes that you got to go start collecting stuff in heaven, I hope somebody preserves this and keeps it going.
Taking it with me.
Well, then I'm going to be following you because I love this stuff.
Inravio.com.
And that was a fun day, too. We've been going out there for a few years now, covering that.
Yeah, it's been quite a while.
And, you know, he was talking about that in his place when we were there. And he was saying one of the reasons why he wanted to discontinue doing that is because everybody came that day, but nobody comes
The rest of the year.
the rest of the year.
Well, it is a big event, and I understand that it does take him some time to put it together, and he's giving away free hot dogs. Everybody comes, you know, in his mind, they come for the free food, but not for nothing. I mean, you know, you drop $100 on a couple of hot dogs, you know.
Right.
That's a lot of hot dogs,
It is.
you know.
It is.
It's
And it
not
is a
like
lot
you're
of
doing Vealman, you know, doing steak and lobster over
Right,
there. you
yeah.
know.
Yeah, we're not in the back with the big pressure cooker and stuff.
Yeah. So.
But when you think about what he has there, and he showed us that book. That you might not have been in the kitchen.
I didn't see the book. No, I heard about it.
He has a book.
But he's got it listed, all the stuff listed, right?
Everything's listed. He has the helmets, the hats, the fire suits, the cars, the uniforms. And then if you have stuff in there, there's a whole subsection with your name on it. So he's flipping through the pages, and he goes, yeah, and these pages have to do with people who have stuff in museum, and the top of the page was my name. And he goes, I didn't do this on purpose. I swear I didn't do that. I just opened it, and he did. He just opened to that page, and there it was, because I have a handful of items in there, because anytime I went to the reunion, I didn't go empty-handed. I have so much racing stuff, and I always bring something, a jacket, a fire suit, a shirt, and I had, when we talked about it, the time trial board from the last Featherlight Modified Tour race that was held at the Thompson Motorsports Park in Connecticut. And they took a picture, it was the last run, all the scores, because back then they didn't have electronic scoring. They hand scored with the clock. And we had scores in the tower that just did the rundown laps. And everybody signed off on it, that scored, and they took a picture for the racing papers. And I was walking around, and there it is in the dumpster. So I took it out of the dumpster, I took it home. So I took permanent marker, and I slowly wrote over the signatures and the times and the car numbers. And then I sprayed it so, after it dried to make sure it didn't get damaged. And I brought that to Marty's for one of the reunions, and he looked at it and goes, what's that? And I said, this is the timing and scoreboard for the last Featherlight Modified Tour race. It was in the dumpster, I got it out, and he got teary-eyed. Now, I've seen it, and it's always somewhere different, but it's hanging up in one of his places. And it's a really nice thing, a really nice gesture. So,
He's got a lot of stuff there. I don't think he even knows half the stuff he's got there.
No, he's probably forgotten.
Yeah.
You know, but if you're specific, he does. He goes.
He'll figure something out.
Yeah, and he'll go find something. You know, because a lot of the guys, he has a lot of stuff of. You know, I didn't.
Well, we talked about that. I mean, if he had a 20,000 square foot building, it wouldn't be big enough. I don't even know what you would do with all of that. I mean, and to be honest, I mean, it's a great idea to open up a museum for that, but
Right.
I don't think it would ever pay for itself.
No, and you need a lot of space. You need it, and not that it's sad, but there's really no option. Some of those cars are out in the weather, and the paint's fading, and
They're getting beat up.
they're getting beat up. But anyway, we got to take a break, and we come back. We're going to talk about some more Marty stuff, some NASCAR news, and sometime tonight we'll talk about the results in the top 3 series at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway when we come back.
Hey, what's I said was gonna say what's up for some reason. Hey, we're Set It Up, and you're watching the Inravio TV network.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop, 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Hi there, this is Buddy from Less Than Jake, and you are listening to Inravio TV. You're probably watching it too.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Welcome back. That was quick.
So somebody was asking in the chat there, was he surprised? Marty was very surprised. He had an inkling. He had all his cronies there, which I think he thought was, which was good. He had, all my cronies are here.
That's what he said. Yeah. And at the end, for those who didn't have the opportunity to go, Chuck and I had discussed, we wanted to make that special. So for those who remember when Dale Earnhardt Sr. Won the Daytona 500.
Yeah, that was my vision.
That was his vision. He wanted to do something like that. So each person that was there, they formed a line and they shook his hand.
Yeah.
And that was so touching. It was like a receiving line at a wedding,
Yeah.
And everybody shook his hand.
I got to give him a little thing.
It was good.
talk about a little something.
Yeah.
Marty, you know, remember? Blah, blah, blah.
There was a guy that was there, he goes, they graduated high school together.
Yeah,
That had to be 60 years ago,
at least.
you know, and how they helped each other along the ways. And it was nice. It really was.
Well, it's something that, you know, you have brought up before, and I've been saying it for years with firemen, because I'm a fireman as well. It seems like we don't give the firemen the respect that they deserve when they're alive.
Right.
But we do when they die.
Yep.
We take the day off from work. We put the ladder truck up with the big flag over the Southern State Parkway, so that when a fire truck comes down with the casket down Southern State Parkway, there's a flag draped between two ladder trucks on every overpass. So we take the time to give firemen that respect then, but we don't, or even police officers. I don't know what they normally get during the, I'm not a police officer, but how much do they get? But when they die, we give them everything we got. We empty both barrels and give them everything we got. And I'm thinking, why do we wait until something happens to show somebody the respect that they deserve, you know? And that's why this has been on my mind, and it's been something I've tossed and turned at night over. And I said, you know what, we need to do something here.
You know, and in part of the interview, not to give away the whole story, but he sat in his chair and he goes, "Did I do something wrong?" And he said it more than once. And Marty, you didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
He goes, "Yeah, but..."
He thought that everything he's been doing for the last 44 years, collecting all this stuff, it was a waste. It was a mistake. I shouldn't have done this.
Yeah. He goes, "Tell me what I did wrong." And then I said, "You didn't do anything wrong. You know, this is a labor of love. This is what you did because you enjoyed it. And you enjoy sharing it and talking to people and telling about how you came up with this stuff."
And then he says, "But nobody comes."
Exactly. Exactly. And he kept saying that. I really felt bad. I really did. But, hopefully yesterday cheered him up and hopefully...
I think the plaque really hit home. I hope he can find a place to put it.
Yeah, we'll have to take something down. I just hope that he gets the understanding that he didn't do anything wrong, and that people just sometimes forget about it. Because we never have time to go visit somebody when they're living. But when they pass, we have
make the time to go to the funeral.
rearrange our lives.
Absolutely.
We take a day off from work, like you said.
That's what I'm saying.
Not even a day, sometimes two. You travel. So hopefully...
sometimes we get on a plane, sometimes we go.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, if you have not been to the Himes Museum of Auto Racing Nostalgia, you need to go there. Just give them a call, and I don't have, we'll get the number for you before we'll...
And don't take yourself, take your whole family.
I mean, bring people you know.
Not for nothing. It's not just racing. Everybody's gonna have a blast. I mean, he's got telephones, he's got cash registers, he's got everything. He's got everything. He really does.
He does.
And even if you're not into racing, just looking at the stuff and you're astounded at how much time and effort and money that this probably costs to put together. It just everywhere. You could stand in one room probably for an hour and not see everything in that room.
Right.
This is not like, you go to the Smithsonian and in one room they got 3 or 4 different items.
Right.
You're in one room, he's got 300 or 400 or 1,000, 3,000 or 4,000 different items. I mean, when I was standing there was literally so much stuff that I'm sure I didn't see everything. Right. And I was standing there for 3 hours.
The bricks from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in that cabinet.
Right. The bricks from the racetrack, the bricks from the start-finish line.
Right.
He had everything. Yeah.
And for those who have a pen or a pencil or a crayon, the phone number is area code 631-666-4912. And call ahead, make sure he's there, make sure he's not with another tour group. And as Marty said yesterday, don't come at lunchtime, because not for his lunch, don't come in your lunch hour, because you won't have enough time to see anything.
You won't have enough time, yeah.
By the time you do the meet and greet, your lunch hour will be over. Yep. But it's, you look at these things, and I got my buddy Randy with our Outcast shout. It's the NASCAR Outcast, which I'm a part of, because, Randy and I, we work together in the K&M Pro Series East. And he understands about this stuff. Now he's living in sunshiny Florida after growing up across the street from the Orange County Fair Speedway. And he's into this old stuff as well. So a little shout out to Randy. And another one of those guys that never misses. He's always on and down in Florida watching
Nice.
the show. So thank you, Randy. But when you looked at that and you looked around that day, there was a lot of old timers, a lot of older guys, a couple of guys our age, but
A couple of new timers,
Yeah.
a couple old timers. I mean, Artie Peterson says we should flood Facebook and get people who love racing at the Marty Himes Museum. You know what? I thought I flooded Facebook pretty good with getting people down there just for the ceremony. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, I would have not liked to have some more people, but we had a good turnout.
Yeah.
But would have been nice, you know, if the weather would have cooperated. But you know what? Yeah, I mean, absolutely, there should be people going down to the museum.
Yeah, I know
It's a great place.
it is, and there's some people that they're very disappointed that the reunion isn't going to happen as of right now. And there's a lot of people that have been talking, emailing me, texting me, even tonight in the chat, saying that maybe we should do it for him. Not we, you and me, but we collectively to put this together. And I don't know. I don't know if he'd be against that. I think that would be something that would take the off him because he's got a lot of.
Well, that's why we kind of did it on March 3rd, because I told him when I was leaving, I told him and I told his daughters, I said, well, now 3/3 is Marty Himes Day, March 3rd,
Yeah.
right? So 3/3 at 3 o'clock. Everybody wants to show up down there on March 3rd, 3 o'clock, and you know, stay for a couple hours. You know, make him feel like he's wanted, like he's doing something.
Yeah.
You don't have to stay for the whole day.
No.
You can go down there, look through the museum, see
Yeah,
some
and-
stuff.
If there's old drivers you want to look at, he'll point in the right direction. If you want to look at pictures,
He's
there's
probably
whole
got a
building
couple
for
old
that.
drivers standing up inside the house there.
Yeah. You never know.
Probably got buried with all the other stuff.
But it was nice, and when you sit down and talk with a guy like Marty and the history that's in his head, he should like write this down, write a book, something.
Well, that's why we went there with the camera, because we talked about that and we tried to pick his brain as best we could. And you know, he's 79, so he's 79. You know, and we wanted to make sure we got as much of this information as we could.
Yeah.
We could preserve it that way by putting it on videotape. You know, and you know, like I said, that's why we did it on 3/3.
There you go.
Everybody likes Dale Earnhardt, whether you like to boo for him or root for him. Everybody likes, you know, Dale Earnhardt in some way or shape or form. So 3/3 Marty Himes Day.
Yeah, people are saying that, especially the southern people are saying it's a little cold in March. But it was warm in the morning.
It was great. It was a good day in the morning.
It was, I'm telling you,
It was warm in the museum, Sam.
Yes, it was.
If you go inside, you're nice and warm in there.
I was wearing a short sleeve shirt outside in the morning. I was wearing a short sleeve shirt. My coat was thrown in the house somewhere. I went inside with the camera crew, with the light guy. We have the interview. I walk outside. It's winter. I'm telling you, it dropped
Yeah,
20
it was.
degrees in like 3 hours.
It got
And
nippy
then the
quick.
snow came. But yeah, 3/3 looks like it's going to be today, or that weekend of 3/3.
Yeah,
It'd be hard to go there on a Tuesday
right.
afternoon.
Exactly. Tuesday afternoon.
I
Yeah.
mean, I would. I could make my schedule, make that happen. You know, 'cause I'm not as busy as you. You got a lot going on, man.
I do.
Yeah.
But you know, we all do.
Yeah.
But you know, you make time for these things. You
Yes,
know,
you
it's
do.
you have to have some downtime.
Now,
And,
what was it like favorite number? What was his first number? Remember what he said his first number was?
Well,
On his little push code, what do they call those things?
The Soapbox Derby.
Yeah, the 52.
Well, we had a 250, which is, you know,
Yeah.
the 5 and the 2.
Yeah,
But I said to him, I never knew anybody with a 52 that did well.
yeah.
You know, because I have the 52. So you know, it's one of our jokes that every time, you know, every time there's a car that spins on pit road, like for the 500, right? Car spins on pit road. Who is it? It's the 52 car. Who else? Damn 52.
Oh, 52.
You know, we're leaving there, and the wife says to me, she goes, "Oh, look," and I'm looking at the building. I'm like, "What am I looking at?" It's number 52. You know, 52. The 52 comes up a lot. You know how race car drivers are.
Yeah,
it's all about numbers, right?
You know, I was the 38 for a couple of seasons, and they were the worst seasons that I ever had. So we came back the third season, and we figured we'd turn things around and make it to 83. Didn't work, because the only thing that was different was the number. The guy's still driving. It was the same. Maybe we needed a new driver back then. I don't know. But we had.
It's those numbers. It's just the way it is. You know, race car drivers are all about the numbers.
It is.
Every number has a reason, right?
Right. Yeah, I remember, here I am, Uncle Johnny.
I would be a little remiss if I didn't say, by the way, we do have somebody who's making a 52, with a comeback, the Petersons, right?
The Petersons.
Because Alan Peterson's riding a 52, which is good to see that number do something good.
You know,
and the kid's doing great with that number.
You know,
so maybe he'll take that number and turn it around, because, I didn't do much with it.
His sister just put it. 52 Alan does pretty good in the 52. And
that's right.
I'm going to talk about that, because Alan is a second-generation driver. Artie, I should say, is a second-generation Artie Peterson III.
Right.
And he lives in Santa Mauritius. And he's been around racing since he's a kid, driving go-karts. And he has plans for 2019. I spoke to his dad yesterday. Peterson will be competing in a tour-type modified with the hopes of racing a diverse schedule of racing. The 22-year-old will align himself with some good company, the Meade brothers, John and George Meade, also known as the guys who've been involved with racing for 6 decades of doing modifieds. So that's going to be good. Peterson, again, started in go-karts, winning the 2008 Long Island Karting Association title. He was named the Riverhead Raceway Rookie of the Year in the Figure 8 class in 2015, and the 2017 U.S. Legend Car New York State Pro Champion. And if somebody didn't make a big mistake, he would have been the Riverhead Raceway Crate Modified Rookie of the Year this past season. And there was an error that doesn't matter who made it, how it was made. It was an error that hopefully is fixed. But And this is what I've always suggested with these Rookie of the Year things, because sometimes it's a popularity contest, and sometimes a person looks at a list of drivers and names and numbers and makes an error. There should be a rookie point system. We did it with the Blunderbuss in 2007, and the highest finishing rookie, and they had 12 rookies that year in the Blunderbuss. They had like 46 cars. The highest finishing rookie gets 10 points. The next rookie is 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all the way down. At the end of the season, the highest finishing rookie driver in points is the Rookie of the Year. That's how they do it in Cup, Xfinity, Gander, K&N, Whelen Modified. Why can't Weekly do the same thing? And when you talk to some of the Weeklies, it's too hard to do. It's not too hard to do. You take an Excel spreadsheet and you just click the boxes and it adds it up for you. So this guy was, and I'm not going to say ripped off, but due to an error, Artie Peterson III did not get his Rookie of the Year hardware or the title to put on his resume due to an error. A human error, nonetheless, but it was an error. And this isn't the first time I've heard of things like this happening. I was at an awards banquet years ago where the Rookie of the Year, it was no thing, it was just, okay, it's this guy. And what happened that the guy, and I'm not going to name names because it doesn't matter, but there's the crew and the driver and his family who finished third in points in the top series at their racetrack, hands down is Rookie of the Year, in my book. So all of a sudden they're talking about the Rookie of the Year and how hard it is, and they gave it to a guy who's finished 12th in points, 0 wins where the other guy had 2 or 3 wins. That guy left that racetrack and never came back. It's those little things.
I can imagine. You know, because again, you want what you do.
Yeah. So
I mean, you try really hard. It's not like this is nobody's phoning this stuff in.
Yeah.
I mean, this is everything that's being done is it's like what we do here.
Right. Now,
there's a lot of effort involved.
Artie Peterson Jr. said it's been corrected, sorta.
Okay, well, that's a good thing.
That's
so
a good
we're
thing.
on, that's how we're on the uptake.
You know?
What? People make mistakes, so if it can
Absolutely.
be corrected, then that's.
But you know, it's like, and I'll go back to 1963. Wendell Scott wins a race. He can't win a race. He's an African American, so they gave it to the second place guy.
Well, it was a different story back
It's
then.
a wholly different story. Now there's all this nonsense. He's going to the papers, the press, or whatever he could do because he won that race. So NASCAR shows up at his house and hands him the trophy. Oh yeah, after we reviewed it, you were right. And he's like, "Where's the cameras? Where's the newspaper? Where's the trophy girl?" It's not the same.
No, it's not the same.
It's not the same.
But now today, they would have given him the award,
Oh yeah, with flying colors.
even if you finished last.
I was just gonna say
They
that.
would give you the award anyway.
Yeah.
Things change.
It does. It does change.
But you know what? My father always used to say that, what goes around comes around. So,
Yes.
I mean, it'll
Yes. And
you
it
get
does.
the short end of the stick here. Sooner or later, something's going to pop up for you.
You know?
You know what I mean? That's what we're banking on, right?
What do they say? Sometimes you're the fire hydrant, sometimes you're the dog.
Sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug.
There you go. I just like to be
The windshield once.
just once.
You never know.
never
Maybe
know.
this is the windshield. We just don't know it.
We just don't know it. Exactly.
It could be worse. Maybe we could be the bug.
Yeah.
You never know.
Or maybe we've been the bug and we
And-
just keep coming back.
That's right.
Anyway, we're going to take a break. We come back. We're going to talk about some of the stuff that went on in Vegas, like who finished where and how and all that good stuff when we come back.
Hi, I'm Remington.
I'm Emerson.
And I'm Sebastian.
We're Palais Royale, and you're watching Inravio TV.
There we go.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Hey, this is Chris Les Jake, and if Inravio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE, your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop, 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Hi, this is Mike Jarecki from My Race News, and you're watching the Inravio TV network.
Hey, welcome back.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Yeah, we were just chatting a little bit, and I want to thank JV for his suggestion that we all chip in like a couple of $100 a month and get a building. But I don't know if that's feasible.
I've rented buildings on the island. I'm sure JB has as well, but 20,000 square. He needs something, unfortunately, too big.
Yeah.
You know, and you know. You're not talking just a rent. You're talking your rent. You're talking insurance. You're talking utilities. You're talking phone. You're talking cable, internet for the. You got to have security. You got to have alarm. Yeah. You start adding these things up. You know, you're talking about and for the building he needs, you're talking 20,000 square feet. It's a lot of money, and unfortunately, you know, as much as I would love to have a 20,000 square foot building and put it together for him, and how many millions it would take to take what he's got, clean it up, display it properly, put it in a thing, and make a museum. You're talking millions of dollars,
and time.
Literally millions of dollars. Or you'd have to pay people to do it.
Yeah.
So you're talking millions. Yeah. And then once you get it up and running, to support it, you can't get people to come and support it now. He's saying the money he collected last year didn't pay for one electric bill. So we collected enough money for him yesterday. He's got several months worth of electric bills going on. But still, that's the most money he's probably collected in years. Yeah. You know, and it's still not going to pay $2,000. No. And that $2,000 is a 1,000 square foot building on Long Island.
And then I've been to other racetracks, and they have not all the stuff that like Marty has collected, but they have similar stuff, some cars, some plaques, and a lot of pictures. And they're on the properties of these racetracks. And, you know, that's pretty interesting. But they have the room, and you know, they get a little piece of the action too, but there's nowhere on Long Island to do that. You know,
now, Riverhead doesn't have that much area that they can put something like that together, I don't think.
Yeah.
You know.
But it's tough. And, you know, it's...
And either way, even if they had the room, square footage is cost. I mean, it's just what it is, you know. And if you could parlay that, you know, it works well because you already got utilities there. Mm-hmm. You know, you can pipe that stuff in. You already got insurance there. You know, hey, okay, it's part of the master scheme of things. You know. Yeah. It's just I can't imagine how much square footage he needs for what he's got. To display everything, honestly, I don't even think 20,000 squares will do it.
Yeah, it might not be. You'd probably need 40.
It's way too much.
Because, you know, think about how many those 40-foot trailers he has with stuff, you know, that's laid out that you walk in one door, walk out. The garages,
the pictures, the letters, the flat pieces, the magazine articles, and unbelievable. And let's forget what he lost in that fire. That's not even there when he had the fire years ago. That stuff that's gone forever. And then the one car that got burned, and somebody came from the fire investigation team, and he knew the Joe Lacey, as Marty was saying, knew the guy, knew the driver, and he picked the car up and had it repainted all nice and done. And brought it back.
But, you know, because they're outside, the cars are starting to fade away, and, you know, it's not cheap to paint the race car. If you're in the business, you know it's not cheap if you do it right. You know, anybody can get a can of, you know, Rust-Oleum and just
well, unbeknownst to everybody, because I did say this yesterday, but we did invite Steve Ballone to come and be part of the ceremony. And my thought is that, you know, Nassau County has the Cradle of Aviation Museum because, you know, hey, all right, the aviation and flight and whatnot started here on the island, right? It was a big thing. So racing started here on Long Island in Suffolk County. I'm thinking if we would have got Ballone down there, maybe could have tweaked his ear a little bit. Yeah. But people never got back to us about coming down. So.
Now, just Al Amarino of A&D Auto Body is watching, and Al, I believe, painted the Ace of Spades and one other car for Marty at one of the reunions, and did a really nice job with it. And he would know what that cost is to paint these. I mean, most of them are two colors and numbers, but, you know, it's got to be exact. You know, you don't, because people are going to come and say, no, it didn't look that way.
Didn't look that way,
And I know when Al painted the Ace of Spades, he had pictures, but if you walked into that shed or garage at Marty's and you saw that, you'd think you were back in that day, because Al did an excellent job on that.
Absolutely, and you know what? It's great that Al did that, but if we did that to everything that's over there, that's what I'm talking about. You're talking millions to try to put all that together to show it the right way. Yeah. And then, you know, who's going to drop a dime to come in and see the thing?
Right. I know one of the reunion days that they had at the racetrack years ago, I drove the Walt Edsel car, and it was pristine. And I looked at it the other day, and it's kind of fading away. You could still see the faded colors and the faded numbers and whatnot. But and Al also painted the Blue Midget, and so that's 2 cars that I know, because you painted the stock car too. It was white with the Ace of Spades. Beautiful car, and a lot of history in that car as well. So, and then how do you go up to an auto body guy who's trying to make a living and say, all right, listen, everything on hold, we need this, and nobody wants to pay the full price. Nobody. So it's a tough deal.
It is tough. It's hard. I mean, it's like I said, and I'm sure you got Al Marino and there's. Everybody wants, well, I should say there's a bunch of people that want to do, I shouldn't say everybody. There's a bunch of people that want to do something. But the problem is, what's the end game?
Right. Yeah. Because plan to fail is a plan to plan.
I don't think anybody would say, oh, I'm not going to help him out if they thought that this was going into a nice big place like the Cradle, and it was going to be, people coming in there and they're going to want to see all of this stuff, and the money's going to be made, and it's going to be paid for itself, and it's going to be safe forever. Ultimately safe forever. Right. But I don't think that's the case. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I invited Steve Ballone down, and we emailed and we contacted him, and I was hoping that if he saw it, he would be like, well, this is something we need to preserve.
It's history. It's part of.
It's part of Long Island history. I mean, we kicked the first race off of Long Island, the Vanderbilt race, and it became the Indianapolis 500. And we've been doing that with everything. I mean, movies started here, aviation started here.
Yep.
We built capsules to go to the moon here.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot that we did here.
Okay.
And Long Island has a great history of kicking everybody off the island. We don't want it. It's in our backyard. Get it off.
Jackie Kennedy Onassis, the wife of the late President John F. Kennedy, and married Aristotle Onassis. She was from Long Island, and she said something in the speech one time. She goes, "American history will never be preserved because we're so quick to throw it away and build over it, unlike Rome and Greece and places of that nature."
Which is why these places look amazing.
Right.
Because they preserve it.
Yeah, so it's kind of tough, but anyway. Let's see, the top 3 series were in Vegas this weekend. Did you see that?
What?
Oh, God. We're in Vegas this weekend. So it's the little things that throw you off when you're doing this, And we have the results from Vegas. And Joey Logano was a winner out there. That's 2 out of 3 for that team, that owner. And we had Brad Keselowski was 2nd, Kyle Busch 3rd, Kevin Harvick was 4th, followed by Kurt Busch, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 6th, Eric Almirola 7th, Martin Truex Jr. was 8th, Chase Elliott 9th, and Denny Hamlin rounding out the top 10. They will be in the ISM Raceway in Phoenix, Arizona, and they call it the Western Swing, but it's not like years ago where they left and they went up the coast and went through Jersey and Long Island and Connecticut, Massachusetts, Maine, Vermont, Michigan. No, they go out, they come back, they go out, they come back.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they call it the Western Swing. It's just a race somewhere else.
Because that's what they used to do.
Yeah, that's what they used to do. And the Xfinity Series was also out there as well. And Kyle Busch was the winner there, followed by John Hunter Nemechek. Noah Gragson was 3rd, Austin Dillon 4th, Michael Annett 5th, Ryan Sieg 6th, Ross Chastain 7th, Chase Briscoe 8th, Cole Custer 9th, and Justin Haley rounding out the top 10. And that's a series, in my opinion, it's not needed. It's not needed, just my opinion, just saying. Because they're cup cars with a little bit less, power and stuff.
Well. It's kind of always been that way, hasn't it been?
Yeah, it has been.
Shorter wheelbase, same motor,
Yeah,
same
same
chassis,
everything.
that whole gig.
And, you know, you get the cup guys driving in them, and they don't get points or anything. They just, you know, to them it's like going racing with their buddies, you know, on any given day. But
That and extra seat time.
Yeah, it's seat time. Now, the Gander Outdoor Series, and I'm still perplexed, when did they change that? One day it was Camper World, next thing
It's Gander.
Gander, and nobody told me. I guess I'm not on that list anymore. They didn't tell me. Did they tell you?
They probably said, take a gander at this, but
Yeah.
and you missed it.
I missed it. Anyway, in the trucks, Kyle Busch was the winner there. Kyle Busch, 2 out of 3 this weekend. Brett Moffitt was second. Matt Crafton was third. Stuart Friesen was fourth. His team owner was in our show a few months back for our anniversary show. So he was there. Harrison Burton, 5th. Sheldon Creed, 6th. Todd Gilliland, 7th. Johnny Sorter, 8th. Ryan Reed, 9th. And Ross Chastain rounding out the top 10. And some little bit of news at the NASCAR thing here. Mayhew Tools will be sponsoring the Whelen Modified Tour Pole Award. Mayhew Tools is out of Massachusetts, and will also add an award to the crew chief of the pole-winning modified. It will be called the Big Stick Award. So that's nice. All right, it's pretty interesting that they're going to do that. And
they couldn't call it the Golden Wrench or something?
No, because that's already taken. Yeah. It's given out to like the weekly short track.
The Big Wrench?
Yeah, because they called it a couple of different things, but Ray Bouchard, who watches our show regularly, he wrenches the Turbish automobiles here on Long Island, has won that award, I believe, 4 times. 4 times. So I asked him once, how do you do that? And he goes one day at a time, you know. And the season ends, he starts right away. And he's trying to get out of it. Now he's got his nephews racing and this one racing, so who's racing 2 cars? So it's kind of tough. But and as we know, Vegas was a race with the new rules package, and Sunday's race added the tapered spoiler. You know that thing, that tapered spacer. Boy, I can't read my own little writing.
Tapered spacer for the car.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not an engine person, so I get confused.
Yeah, we're not doing restrictor plates anymore. It's going to be a tapered
no more
spacer.
restrictor plates. But Steve O'Donnell, who is NASCAR's executive vice president, and he said, don't judge this new rule package based on what you saw in Vegas. It'll be a work in progress. Now,
everything's a work in progress.
There were a lot of people talking. Oh no, Ray Bouchard corrected. Thank you, and I apologize. A 2-time national award winner for crew chief.
Okay.
And
a 4-time regional.
4-time regional.
Nice.
All right. Hey, thanks, Ray. I knew it was 4 somewhere, but the fact that you got any of those, it says a lot. But anyway, these rules packages. I was reading up on some of that today, and they were saying that a lot of the fan input made NASCAR make some of these changes. Now, when a lot of these changes were made, the person running the show is no longer there and knew nothing about racing. So he was listening to fans, not to the engineers, not to the builders, not to the fabricators, not to the engine people, to the fans. The fans only want to see their guy win and the other guys crash. So how do you run your business based on the fans who are just regular people, like, not even like you or me. They're just regular people. So I hope with this restrictor plate change, and I hope with these gear ratio rules, they put the driving of the car back into the hands of the driver. Because as you know, some of those cars today, like Marty said yesterday, if you want to drive a race car today, you have to buy the chassis from this guy. You got to buy the body from that guy.
They're all pre-made.
You got to buy the motor from this place.
Yeah.
And you got to buy the fuel at the racetrack.
Well,
there's no innovation.
The rules over the years have gotten so restrictive that there is not a lot of room for error. And when you do have some room to try to wiggle, you wind up cheating somehow or another.
Right.
And you wind up, oust. Right?
Happens.
Oh, it happens all the time.
Happens all the time.
Absolutely. You know, you try to read into the gray area. Go, well, this is where we got some room. We can do something here.
Oh yeah.
That
I
means
read into the
nothing.
gray, and you know it was funny. And it was a late model driver at my local racetrack when I was an official there, and Tech bounced him. So he comes into my office with the rule book, and he says, "You need to show me where it says I can't do that." So I'm going to be a wise guy. I said, "Well, then you need to show me where it says you can." So he flips a page and he goes, right here, it says I can, right here. Where does it say it? It says the part must be factory stock. That's not factory stock. You know, here it is. I said, how is that factory stock? Well, it was made in the factory, and when I went to the parts store to get it, they had it in stock. So he beat me on that one.
Well, there's a lot of those. I mean, we ran the 4-barrel intakes because they were factory stock marine part.
Right.
Didn't say it had to be automotive.
Exactly.
And it didn't say that it couldn't be modified.
Right.
Just said it had to be a factory part. So, yeah, factory part, little modification to boost the horsepower a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
But factory stock.
You know, I learned a lot over the years on teching and how to be tech, and
well, at the shorter track, at the local tracks, there's a lot more wiggle room.
Yeah.
But when you get up there where they got these templates and they just lay them on the car, and if you're a 16th off, get the Bondo out in the paint, well, come on.
They had me in tech and back then it was in that Nationwide cars, and I had to do the wheel well. And it was a contraption that went onto the hub, and I was all discoordinated because I tried to do it this way, but you have to do it this way. And there's like a little pointer that barely touches the bottom of the wheel well.
Like a dial indicator?
Yeah, and if you didn't hear the thing,
The
you didn't
scrape?
see it
Touch 'em?
move, you had to bounce them. And I was like...
So you didn't just take a 2x4 and go like this?
Nah.
Make sure there was enough clearance?
And all you were allowed to say was, no good. So when they...
So you couldn't tell them what the problem was?
No, you know, and we'd all held up the thumb, okay, we're good.
Thumb up or thumb down?
One thumb down, you're going back around. Going back around. And then like with the modifieds, there's a ride height rule, the lowest point.
They got a wheel well problem with that?
Well, this is what they would do. The teams would
on the modified
pick up the back of the car and hope it got over the scales quick enough before it settled, because it would be too low at that point. So what I would do, because I did that was a mindless job. I would wait till the scale guy goes, I'm good, everybody else good? No, wait. You hear, ding, ding. No good, too low. So they stopped lifting them up and they just made them the right height. Because I was having fun with that. You know, don't lift it up. Well, they lifted up by the nerve bars, and the car would come up, and then you'd see it slowly settling. Like 1/8 of an inch is a lot when you do that.
When you're that close, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is every car's got a rake. Did you do all 4 corners?
No, we would do the corner by on the driver's side where the firewall met the chassis, because that was usually the lowest point. And then we
on the driver's side?
Yeah, and then we use another thing to measure the rear quarter panel on the right side that we would just lift up, and as long as it cleared, it was good. So now they couldn't play with both corners. And then it went to lasers, and that took all the fun out of it.
Mm.
All the fun out of it.
Well, that's what racing's about. You got to read in the gray areas.
Oh, yeah.
And work there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But,
well,
she just gave us the number 1 sign?
I think I got the finger, yeah.
Yeah, you got the finger. Wow. Good thing nobody saw that.
I'm telling you, right?
Good name. But anyway.
I got your number 1 sign.
You're the number 1. Well, it's better than, you just missed it. Always gives you a laugh.
Hey, come on, every week, right?
Yeah. We go back a long way.
That was a good time, though.
It was.
I'm radioing going, is there a caution out? Why is everybody going so slow?
Again, we had a good weekend with Marty on Sunday. We had fun doing the show tonight. We always have fun. We got our people. I didn't see Jay Slice tonight, but hopefully.
Oh yeah, I don't want to forget. I mean, Jay Slice helped us out a lot on on Sunday. So I got to say, he was there as outside traffic coordinator and took care of the crowd outside. So I got to give him props for that. And I still owe him a T-shirt, so we got to get that out to him.
Nice. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your busy schedule to watch our show tonight and to join in our laughs and listen about Marty. Spread the word about Marty, please. And if one person tells a person, those two people tell two, that's 4, 4 is 8, 8, 16, and so on and so on. And get them out there.
And you know what? Not for nothing. Say, listen, we're doing something on Sunday. You go over there, you pick them up, take them over to the museum, both of you, check out the museum.
It'll be a good time.
You know, drop a couple bucks there, you know, maybe bring a cup of coffee and some donuts.
He drinks
for Marty.
tea.
He drinks tea.
Yeah.
All right, so bring him a tea bag. He likes the tea bag. Does he squeeze twice?
Yeah, that's a story for another day.
Different story.
Anyway.
Good story, though, yeah. So bring, you know, get to that museum. He wants to see people. That's really what he wants.
He's lonely.
He wants to see people over there. Nobody comes.
And he has a lot to share.
Yes, sir.
And like he said, once I'm gone, it goes with me.
Absolutely.
So let's not let that happen. All right, everybody, whoever your endeavors bring you this week, please be safe, please be careful. Give somebody a hug, tell them you love them. God bless you all, and we'll see you Monday night. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Inravio.com.